All right, welcome to the Spoiler Kings. My name is Stan Kramer with Brandman Brandon, Brian the Grizzly, and we're going to talk about the finale of Creature Commandos season 1. We are getting a season 2. I think that's confirmed now. So
Yep.
episode 7, season 1, how it all kind of finishes up. It's mainly we get Nina's backstory in this one. Yeah. So with that being said, we'll start with Brandman. What you think about this episode?
I liked it. I liked how, they finally brought it full circle with deep diving into the characters. This time we get Nina's backstory, which was, man, in terms of like how tragic a lot of this stuff was, I think this one really takes the cake.
Yeah.
Especially with the way that that things ended for her. Like, holy crap.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why does James Gunn insist on doing this? But it left overall, I thought it was great, and it kind of left me wanting more. On one hand, I'd have been fine if they kind of stopped here with the kickoff to the DC to the Gunverse or whatever you want to call it. But at the same time, I'd watch more. You know, I liked the tone and I liked how it was balanced. It was very much it started very much to the point. It ended very much to the point. And yeah, overall, I was pretty happy with it. It was a fun, obscure start to the universe.
Yeah. Come. What are you, Brian? What you think about this episode?
It definitely felt like James Gunn wrote it. It felt like it was something he would write. I've been complaining about Nina not knowing much about Nina the entire time. I feel like she didn't do anything in the show. Really, nothing really happened. And then we get her backstory, and then she dies. And I was like, really? That's what we're doing with like you got Zoe, a child, and you're gonna be like, you're dead. All right. She literally could have did all her lines in like a 25-minute point for the entire season, like literally. And I was a little bit sad about that, but overall, he definitely brought emotion out. I like the bride still. You began with a bang with the bride, and you finished with a bang with the bride. Literally out of her fingers, and I think that was pretty cool. And then the ending was okay. It was okay.
Yeah. They, for me, I thought Nina's story, like kind of what Brian you said, like she's there, and you're like, why is she with these killers? She's not a crime lord. She's not a killer monster. Like she's just like very innocent kind of person. And then we finally get her back to her right at the end, and after having the cool story of like the bride and GI robot and Weasel and Dr. Phosphorus, we're like, man, it just kept getting more and more traumatic and more emotional, to like this was the cherry on top where you're like, why'd you do this to me, James Gunn? Like like it's supposed to be a fun, and you're making me like sad, on my lunch break watching this show. It's like, but he did that, and I thought it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it a lot. It was an interesting start to this DCU. But I think I got like, he can have of not, because there was some jokes, but not a lot. It wasn't like all jokes and goofy. But you can have a good story with characters that you can have attachments to that you didn't think you were going to, and kind of have a small story. Like it was interesting. But for a TV show, it was a solid story, I gotta admit. But well, but it was this is a good finale, with a good ending, and it gets you ready for season 2, whenever that might be. So yeah, satisfied and interested going forward. So job well done for me. Any other issues you guys had, or other things you liked?
Well, I'll still
With
say
the whole
that
show.
it's still very hard for this to be a beginning when I can't have kids watch it. It's still once again, I think animated sex scenes are just unnecessary. And I just think some of it was over the top. That and the beginning of a DCU, sometimes you want to be able to share it with who is comic books are really aimed at, like or these cartoons are aimed at. You want 12-year-old boys to be able to do it, and I don't think they could have watched any of this stuff. So like I have overall a problem when I think about it, but this was made for adults, just like Peacemaker was made for adults.
Yeah.
But that's why I always just feel weird about it being placed as the first thing. But James Gunn does a good job. He knows what he's doing. I think the two directors were really good. They understood the direction that they were going. They understood the feeling, so I have no problem with it. But it's still very weird. I just can't get it out of my mind. It's a weird way to do it, to not be able to involve any kids in any of this stuff. So
yeah. I mean, I would say that's what James Gunn does a lot, because I think Guardians, when he did Guardians, that they're fairly
curse to the third movie. Like,
yeah. Well, that was the first ever Marvel curse word. But I wonder if that might be an issue going forward. Like, is this the tone we're going to have? It very, very adult, which is okay, but then you limit yourself to the audience.
Yeah, I think it all depends on the content, because there is comic content that is very kid and tween friendly, say like Batman or Wonder Woman. And then there's stuff like this, or like Deadpool or Suicide Squad or Creature Commandos, Peacemaker, that's very R-rated. So I think it just depends on the content that you're dealing with.
I think you're right, but my question is, if they started Deadpool, all the MCU out with Deadpool, I don't think it would did the numbers. Like you can't starting it off right away with it. It's kind of weird. It's kind of different, and I don't know if that's the best way to do it. But it's unofficial. Like, this is just one thing, because
like
Superman,
launch,
it's a soft launch, because Superman really is going to be the start of the whole thing. So this is me nitpicking really more than anything, because I believe that the real start will be Superman. But right now, people are saying, "Oh, the DCU started," and a lot of people that really enjoy that content won't be able to watch it.
Well, yeah. Unless you guys got anything else.
No, I mean, this is a good thing. I mean, I love to rate it and see where we at for it. But
yeah. Which bring that up right now. So for season 1 of Creature Commandos, we're gonna rate it. Now, later never means now. Binge it, watch it as soon as possible. Later means you got time, no big deal, and never means just skip it. Brandman, what you rating Creature Commandos?
I'll give it a now. I had fun with this. Okay. I like that James Gunn does more obscure content, and I like that we got basically an unofficial start to this new rebooted universe with more obscure characters. And I just like the emotional aspect that James Gunn always brings, and it makes me even more excited for what he's going to do, with the new Superman in a few months. So yeah, I had a lot of fun with it, and props to Frank Grillo. I was kind of sleeping on his skills as a voice actor. I thought he did a great job. It's one of my favorite things about it. But yeah, it left me wanting more. So I'm now very, very excited for season 2 and whatever he has in store for this universe as a whole. So go now.
Okay. What about you, Brian?
After everything I just said, should I not
never?
I feel like I've said that it was good, but I also think it was a very weird start to it. Do I think that it's necessary to watch right now for DCU? I'm probably gonna give it a later, because I want Superman to start by DCU off, if that makes sense. Not that the show wasn't good quality. I want Superman to start it off, and then maybe I could come back to this later and enjoy it, just because it's just what it is. It's just a show instead of the start of what this entire thing is. I'm not looking at it as quality. I'm not looking at it for my enjoyment factor. I'm looking at the placement of the DCU and how it starts. My later is probably because based on that. So I'm
Yeah.
going to say, I want Superman to start it off. So I'm going to say this is later.
Yeah. And that's interesting. I agree with it. I definitely agree with that. Like, I think Superman should start it. But for me, like, just this as a show, it was probably a now. But I think overall, watch it after Superman. I think that might have more like impact on it. But just the show as itself is a great show. Watch it now, but watch it as soon as Superman comes out. Yeah. I think that's a good way to put it. But because I do think it has like some vibes of what we're in store for the DCU. Metahumans, people with powers. Technology, because those guard knights had some killer tech, and we always forget about that. We never really talked about it. Like, they had some, those are like some Iron Man suits, like some bootleg cheap Iron Man suits, but they had some cool guns and stuff built into it. So
and that hammer tech.
yeah, exactly. So yeah, it does some stuff to set you up for the universe, but I think it'll be better after Superman. But it is a very fun show, and I do recommend watching it though, for sure. So that's our thoughts for Creature Commandos season 1. We want to hear from you guys. So if you're watching this on replay, leave a comment. Let us know what you guys think about the season. If you didn't like it, let us know. I want to hear if you don't like it and why. I'm not saying you're wrong, but I want to hear. Because everyone has an opinion on it. But make sure you guys hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and come and join us every Monday and Thursday when we are live talking about TVs, movies, trailers, all the fun nerdy stuff. But we appreciate everyone in the live chat as well. And if you are in the live chat, stick around, because we're going to move on to our next topic for the night.